Now, complete high school football coverage. This is 10 Sports First and 10. Brought to you by these sponsors.
Come on in, my friends. Let the party begin. As Daniel Tiger says, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, so won't you be my neighbor? Yes, it's time for a new season of First and 10. Eric Johnson here to get your season started off right. So with that, here's our trivia question. Last season, this program made its first playoff appearance since 2012 and had its first winning season since 2010. Ponder over that as we move throughout the night. Speaking of moving throughout the night, head over to WSLS.com. Chloe and Duncan holding things down, all the latest scores that you need to be kept up on, which brings us to our game of the week. It's a clash of two Class 4 Titans, EC Glass at Salem. Two teams that want to get back to doing the basics, but you know what? They also want to shake off what happened last year. Brooke Leonard joins us now, spent the night in Salem. A new season, new reason to be great, Brooke.
Eric, and Jamar Lovelace, EC Glass head coach, put it best. Playing Salem is like a staring contest. Whoever blinks first is gonna lose. Let's head out to Salem Stadium. They've matched up 54 times since 1917. Glass leads the series 39-15. The Hilltoppers get on the board first early after a Spartans turnover. Elijah Hughes muscles this one in from short, and it's 6-0 Glass. Minutes later, it's a 3-and-out for Salem, and EC Glass on the move again. This time it's Darian Davis finding a hole, and we're not even halfway through the first quarter. Hilltoppers lead by 2 touchdowns. Don Holter needs to get his run game going. Spartans pushing the ball all the way down to the 1-yard line. Jordan Burton jumps over the pile. He gets Salem on the board. The quarterbacks for both teams putting on a show here. Tanner Overstreet taking it in to make it a 1-score game, but Glass answers right back. Jalil Holloway, 73 yards to the house. He's a runner. He's a track star. No, Eric, he really does run track. He joined the football team this year. Salem still doing what they do best, methodically running the clock, getting in scoring position, but they're stopped on 4th and 1 with seconds left in the game. EC Glass will win tonight, 27-21. Salem drops their 6th straight season opener.
Focus on the clock, matter of fact. Focus on the clock. We all got to communicate, stay down and just work.
We didn't do everything that I would have wanted in the second half. We had a lot of guys going down with injuries. So kind of a war of attrition, and we got a timely stop right when we needed to. A lot of respect for a program like Salem, and I don't think we could have drew a better script of how we would have wanted this thing to end, and I think that'll give our guys some confidence moving forward.
Salem hosts Franklin County next week. Glass hosts PH. Eric?
All right, let's go to Ferncliff now, where William Fleming is ready to reload after back-to-back region final appearances. Colonels had a tough first-time opponent tonight, Varina. The energy on the cliff was good at the start, but it didn't last long, unfortunately. Check out Caleb Weish airing this one out. Drops right in the breadbasket to Damari Carter. 86-yard march to the promised land. 7-0 lead for the Blue Devils. Defense trying to make a difference. How about Stephon Webb for the Colonels, making a nice tackle in space here. However, it was to no avail because Weish, looking like Russell Wilson, coming out of the pocket, zips it to Chandre Williams, makes some guys miss, and scores it from 26 yards out. 14-0 Varina. We are still in the first quarter where we had a muff snap. Jasier Preston picked off by Ivan Thompson. House call and night-night. Fleming unfortunately falls 41-14 to open the season. Northside has some talented skill players they believe can help the program make noise this season. Could they prove their worth on opening night against Pulaski County? Student section sure did make sure I knew where I was tonight. Cougars down 14-0 when they start to come back in the first half. Bryant Nottingham to Carter Wilson for the first down. Just a few plays later, Nottingham is going to find Sammy Carrasco. Touchdown Pulaski County, 14-7 score. Just before halftime, the perfect 2-minute drill for the Vikings. If you didn't know, Casey Hall can ball, y'all. Look at him here. Short rushing touchdown, 21-7 at halftime. Second half, more Vikings. Hall to a sweeping Darion King, and we are going to crown it. Northside rolls to a 49-20 victory. We had a battle of first-year coaches as Stanton River visited Hidden Valley, but Tolliver back at home in the Navy and Gold where it all began. On the other side, former Golden Eagle Clay Fizel making the big boy decisions now. But Stanton River, who would end up dominating in this one. Samuel Ayers, stiff-arming a Titan, goes untouched to the end zone. Golden Eagles soaring at this point, 29-7. Hidden Valley trying to get back into it. Patrick Truning, pressure's on, throws up a prayer. Answered by the wrong guy here. Picked off by Nolan Woodard. Ensuing drive, however, would stall. Truning looking to put the nail in the coffin. It's going to step up, throws a deep bomb to a wide-open Josh Action Jackson. Cruises for the touchdown. 37-7 would be the final as Stanton River gets their first win of the season. How about a Roanoke County clash? Cave Spring at William Byrd. Camden Depths among in attendance tonight, supporting his Terriers and vice versa. Terriers going to go with a shovel pass to Jamez Toller. Makes a man miss, runs through a Knights defender, and gets a good gain. He cash in on the very next play, bowling over his defenders before falling into the end zone. Terriers go up by 7 right here. Cave Spring trying to make something happen. Justin Rosenboom is going to fly in from the blind side for a sack. Knights would eventually punt. Terriers back on offense. Gray Matthews with the carry. Cuts to his right, gets a block. It's going to take it all the way to the house for a touchdown. 36-7. William Byrd gets the win over Cave Spring. Other scores for you tonight. Carroll County over Christiansburg, 35-21. Blacksburg over Giles in a big way, 40-8. How about Patrick Henry getting a shutout win on the road at Southern Alamance? A check on our private schools now. North Cross opened this season with a shutout win on the road last week. Raiders on an absolute mission. Had tonight's game with Trinity circled on the calendar. Lots of Division I talent all over the field for this one. It's the Titans that would set the tone, however. We had some UPS ground shipping at the start. Davion Brown on a tear for the Titans as he goes in for the touchdown out of the Wildcat. Later, wide receiver Deuce Mason chucking up the deuces, caught a pass, then he's going to get to the end zone. Trinity built a 29-7 lead. But when all is lost, the Raiders made plays to start the half with a touchdown run from quarterback Tristan Lang. The momentum carrying over to the defense now. They forced 2 turnovers. First, Josiah Haynes said, "That's mine." And how about Jace Rhodes getting in on the action with another interception? Lang later is going to pitch it to J.D. Grubb for a touchdown, cut the deficit down, but not enough. North Cross falls 36-28.
Oh no! All week we just been preaching. We're a D2 team. We're in a D2 division playing against D1s. Like I told them, no matter the outcome, as long as we fight to the end, I'm proud of them. We started slow in the first half. We had to fix some things in halftime, but I feel my guys, we fought, and they fought, and that's all I asked for them.
Roanoke Catholic also started this season on the road with a win last week. Time for some home cooking with Atlantic Shores. Look out, it's Yajay Hairston running like a kid in Walmart. Manager, please. Touchdown Celtics. 2-point conversion made it 8-0. Seahawks respond. John Colbank is going to bully his way in for the touchdown. They had a 2-point conversion, and we're tied 8-8 right here. Roanoke Catholic would force a turnover. Hairston would force it. Zion Good recovered it, but to no avail. Atlantic Shores goes on to win 48-16. Other scores for you, we have Alta Vista falling on the road tonight, 21-14. SMLCA came up short at Riverheads, and Chatham all over Prince Edward, 26-0, while Dan River over Tunstall, 49-42. Everyone wants a championship, but you can't have $1 million dream with a minimum wage work ethic. We have a lot more teams that have been putting in some hard work this season thus far. See if Perry McClure can extend its win streak over rival Rockbridge County for the 3rd consecutive season. As Radford returns to the field this year, it honors one of the greatest coaching legends from our area. And we'll go south side, see if the Franklin County Eagles can soar past Bassett. Lusted.
We're the Capricorn cheerleaders. Stay tuned for more First and 10 coming up next. Let's go!
Welcome back. Rockbridge County is one of a handful of schools that's in a new district this season, the Shenandoah. But that didn't take away their matchup with rival Perry McClure. In fact, the Wildcats' new coach, Zach Rodenizer, hoping to take down the Blues tonight, but Perry McClure had other plans. Buck 17 left to play in the first quarter. Blues quarterback Nathan Glass calls his own number, heads to the corner for the 7-yard touchdown run. Perry McClure goes up 6-0. Wildcats get on the board when Aiden Myers kicks this 22-yard field goal. Still a 3-point deficit. 1:25 left in the first half. Blues will score again. Jacob Schaefer takes it in from the 1-yard line to put Perry McClure up 14-3 at the break. Then back to Nathan Glass, keeping the ball yet again, going back to his favorite corner. 21-3 is the score at this point. Rockbridge not giving up. Taylon Tyree first is going to pick up a bad snap, scramble to his left, then back up the middle all the way down to the 30-yard line. They would go on to cash in. However, it would be Perry McClure going on to get the win tonight, 21-11.
When you can beat a 3A school and we're a 1A school to get our season started like this, but it's really special. It really is. I mean, the crowd come out tonight to support us, and we was glad we could put a show on for them.
And we welcome Brooke Leonard back in now as Radford returned to the field this season. It did so with heavy hearts. Of course, former coach Norman Lindenberg passed away earlier this summer.
An absolute legend. Coach Lindenberg was not only a pillar of success, but a fixture in the Radford community, helping shape the lives of those he came in contact with.
Yeah, you know, the Lindenberg family was honored before Radford hosted George Wythe tonight. August 29th is officially Norm Lindenberg Day now. A proclamation passed by the City Council earlier this month. An exceptional educator, administrator, coach, and friend.
I think my brother described him in the obituary as an ambassador of kindness, and I think that's pretty accurate. Yeah, he really he wanted to know about everybody. He cared about everybody. He wanted to see people succeed. I think he's one of the few coaches that even the people that he competed against, he still cared about them and really wanted them to succeed and win.
And you know, I always call him kind of the founder of the program, but the main thing is he created such a rock solid program that stood the test of time through, you know, now even 3 coaches. The traditions and foundation that he laid are just incredible.
Truly one of the best. That's for the game tonight. Bobcats starting hot. Peyton Dobbins to Trenton Carter. It's a 25-yard touchdown play. It's 7-0 Radford in the first quarter. George Wythe going to respond. Here comes Cade Bradley to Skylar McBride. 77 yards, Eric.
Wow.
Watch him go. Turn and burn. It's 7-6. This is not surprising by George Wythe. They love to do that. Dobbins was a workhorse tonight. Picks off Bradley to get the ball back. Then he's going to cash in on offense right here. An 18-yard touchdown to Colton Garner Rollins. 17-6. Radford Bobcats lead. They're going to hold on to the win tonight for the 31-20 win.
All wins are good wins. I think, you know, the thing that I'd like to think Coach would be really, really proud of the way our kids fought to the end, right? It was ugly, made plenty of mistakes, but we stayed in there for the final fight and were able to come out on top.
All right, a couple more scores for you. Glenver 70-0 over Galax. Hurley beating Blaine County 42-6. Rural Retreat getting the win over Fort Chiswell 46-7. And Allegheny, North Carolina beating Grayson County 28-21.
All right, Brooke, let's go south side now. Classic battle between Franklin County and Bassett. Always a good one.
The Eagles have owned the series the past few seasons, but the Bengals were hoping to change that narrative. Out to Bassett we go for this one. We pick things up in the second quarter. Franklin County driving down the field to strike first, capped off by a Rashawn Huey touchdown. Things going from bad to worse for Bassett as David Cook is sacked by Jaden Witcher, Hinton for a loss. Franklin County coach J.R. Edwards, he likes it though, smiling and clapping. Eagles get the ball back, and Davenport immediately goes deep to Quincy Pruitt Ramsey for another touchdown. It's 14-0 Franklin County. Bassett finally gets on the board just before the half ends with a QB keeper by David Cook, but this surge wasn't enough to topple the Eagles. Bassett drops their first home game of the season, 27-19. 2 newcomers to the Three Rivers District, Patrick County at Martinsville. Let's check out the Bulldogs. Kenyon Reed going for the TD. Get ready to hear more of this guy's name tonight. The Bulldogs are going to capitalize here. They're in the lead with another Kenyon Reed touchdown. Do we have a potential player of the week contender right here?
Yeah, mark him down.
I mean, come on. Now on to the fourth quarter. Kamarion Plunkett's going to say, okay, I'm going to make a case for myself and go ahead and score. The Cougars don't go down fighting. Jaden Korn scoring a last-second touchdown, but Martinsville gets the win 47-14. Some more scores. GW Danville falls to Reedsville 42-14. Person, North Carolina beating Halifax 32-22. And finally, Magna Vista blanking Rockingham 39-0. Let's talk Seminole District. The Brookville Bees have been buzzing all offseason. Addition of Logan Thomas to the staff, and his talented sons came with him this week.
Yeah, you know, on paper, the Bees could be dangerous, but the same could be said for Appomattox County. We know how they typically are at the end of the year. But here is a look at Mr. Thomas, who's back in town. We're scoreless in the opening quarter. Bees quarterback Lincoln McDaniel plows through for Brookville's first score of the season, 6-0 lead for them. Raiders get on the board in the second on a 30-yard field goal from Mark Alois. 6-3 is the lead now. Later in the second, it's McDaniel on a keeper around the right side for 50 yards down the field. Look at a march there. That is going to set up Blake Underwood, who goes over the defender. 13-yard TD pass. How about Brookville tonight? 20-17. Let's go to Bedford. Liberty hosting William Campbell, trying to end that 37-game losing streak. 37. We pick it up in the third quarter. Generals QB Mashandre Thompson to Traymar Reed in the back of the end zone, 21 yards out to get on the board. But the night belonged to the Minutemen. Nasir, my favorite, Cousin Johnson, hangs a left at the Rhinos and is gone 60 yards. Liberty is up 44-8. Later, it's 44-16 in the fourth. Johnson showing off the speed again. I'll see you at the family reunion. 70-yard touchdown. The national nightmare is over. 50-16. Liberty wins.
Come on.
It's an amazing feeling. Everybody's happy. Everybody's jumping. Haven't seen that ever like this. It's great.
It feels great, man. I feel like we can all breathe again. I feel like we can all breathe again, but we're so far from done. This team has got something special brewing. We're ready to come out here next Friday and fight again.
All right. Liberty faces Glenver next week. Some quick Seminole District scores. JF blanks Gretna. Lord Botetourt beating Rustburg 28-14. How about Sharando over Amherst County? That's from last night. And LCA is at Ironton, Ohio tomorrow. Floyd County beating Narrows 31-26. James River 49-12. Bath County starting off strong 36-0 over Stonewall Jackson, and Craig County getting the win 48-0 over Montcalm, West Virginia. Finally, Holston beating Eastmont 49-18.
Yes, indeed. And what a treat we had for tonight. What a show. What a week one. And in case you're still wondering about that old trivia question, the team last year that not only had a winning season and returned to the playoffs for the first time in a long time, Craig County.
Hey.
The Rockets, they have liftoff.
Let's go.
And they won again to start the season on the right foot tonight. So, yes, indeed. Looking forward to week two. That'll do it for week one. For Brooke Leonard, I'm Eric Johnson. We'll see you next week.
Bye.